It's going to be like a 20-foot car. From 20 feet away, it looks awesome, but when you get up, you're going to start picking it apart, and don't do that. It's a fun car that we built, and I'm trying to show you that you can go racing with whatever you have. If you got a 4-door or a 2-door, you could have a Volkswagen Beetle, whatever. Just the whole point of this build was to show guys that if you have the drive, you can go racing with zero experience. I got zero experience, so.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the shop. So we've made some pretty good progress so far. We got it mounted up on the rotisserie now, front and back. I'm a little sketched out by how it's mounted back here, but I was told this is okay. These 4-door hardtops, I know lots of people say that the 4-door, it's ugly, it's whatever. Believe it or not, the 4-door hardtop is actually a fairly rare car. When I took it to its first show, I had so many people come up, and I haven't seen a hardtop in years. And like, I don't know, there's probably a lot out there, but they aren't shown off, and we're gonna show this one off. It's gonna do some cool stuff. But like I said before, and I've said always, it's not going to be a show car. So if you come out to a show and see the car, just understand that it's not a show car. So first order of business is do the hard stuff first, and the rest won't be bad, right? If you do the hard stuff first, then you're going to enjoy what you're doing. Get it out of the way. So the wheel lips here, and the wheel tubs that I have to do, like we're just doing a mini tub. So really so if you look right here, there's rust all right there. And basically our mini tub is gonna take that rust out. We do have a little bit here as well, but I'll be pulling up my parts car, and we'll probably cut this part out of that one if it's good, and go from there. But I do have patch panels that should fix all of this. It's just a matter of, like, this is all just wavy and gross, so I'll probably cut it up a little bit more and then trace it onto my panels I have here. So that's what we're up to today. We're gonna try and rotate this thing without dropping it on the ground, and we'll go from there. For now, we got to get this body done. All right, guys, here's the moment of truth. I'm probably going to have to let that down some more, but we got the front unlocked. The back is unlocked. Yeah, we're going to have to let it down more. So we'll lock it back in. This is the scariest thing I've done with this car so far, and let me just say I've done some scary stuff in it. Now, the reason I'm leaving that hooked on there is a what if. What if this thing decides to go for a ride? Okay. So, you know how much easier it's going to make things to work on? Like, now I'm working right in my face. It's not up. I don't need to rotate I'm not taking this car right upside down ever. The furthest it'll go is just this way. And man, that's going to make things nice. Just for everything. So we're going to come up with a game plan on this, and we're going to get going. We're going to get these tubs done. So you can see the rust in here. All this is getting cut out. Essentially what I think I'm going to do is cut right along where it kind of kind of curves in. I'm going to cut right along there. And then the new one that I put in here will just butt up to about there. And it should make up that 2 inches because we're only doing a mini tub, so it's about 2 inches. It doesn't sound like a lot, but with these rims and tires that we have, that's all the room that we have. Like I wouldn't be able to put the body on the frame right now with those wheels and tires. So the old wheels I have, they work, but they aren't a drag wheel. They're just a steel wheel with a slick on them. So I'm gonna get a game plan here and we'll be back. Okay, so I bought new inner wheelhouses, outer wheelhouses as well. They don't have, like, anything I looked at in the catalog did not have anything, like any information about 4-doors. So I basically just looked at the curves in this one, matched it up in the catalog. It's a little bit different, but I think it'll work for what we're doing. Basically what I'm planning on doing is cutting this lip off. So I'm gonna cut this here lip off, and then I'm going to cut what I need for clearance on the inside. I'm gonna cut away from the lip on the inside that far so that this new edge will butt up to where I cut, and it'll give me that extra tub. Yeah, this is really intimidating. This isn't something I've ever done before, and I thought to myself that maybe I should get someone to do it, but we're gonna try. The inside of the wheel tub I'm not too concerned about because it's gonna be filled up with tire. You're not gonna see it. The outside wheel lip, like of the fender or the quarter panel, whatever you want to call it, that I'm a little bit worried about because that everyone sees. And I don't even know how to put Bondo on, so I don't want to scab this together and then have to redo it, but I might seek some help from a professional for the outside, just so it looks good. And then, yeah, like looking at all the little bits of rust here and there, like, I mean, I can put patch panels in, but this is a little bit bigger than a patch panel. So if you look up here, this is the seam of the inner and the outer. So I'm gonna measure 2 inches off of this seam, 2 inches, and I'm gonna cut it 2 inches away from that whole seam. And then what I'm gonna do is come under here and I'm gonna cut 2 inches out. And then when I cut that lip off of that fender, it should butt up to my 2 inches. And then that should make up the extra wheel room I need in here. There's gonna be a little bit of messing around. Let's see if I can get this door to, I don't know if it'll stay open, maybe. So if you look right here, this is essentially what we're trying to make up here. It's about, I guess it's about 1.5 inches. But that is gonna be, so when my new wheel tub comes in, it's gonna butt up to that and I can weld it down. We'll have to trim this up so that it'll come in and around. It's gonna be interesting. Like I said, this is above my pay grade. I've never done anything like this before, so we'll see how it goes. If I can do it, you can do it. So we'll see if I can do it. But like I said, it's not a show car. Let's keep that in mind first of all. So all the people out there that are gonna comment, well, it looks like crap. It ain't a show car. We're building this car to drive. And I know there's people, oh, I drive my show car. I live on 4 miles of gravel. So this will never be like a win a world of wheels or whatever show car, because then I wouldn't want to drive it on the gravel. I'm building this car to drive it. So everything's going to get rock chipped. But we're trying to do things to the point where everything that does get rock chipped, it's fine if it does. So yeah, I'm gonna get at this. Okay, so we're getting this all stripped out here. So one thing that kind of wanted to share with you guys is when you're grinding this undercoat, you can use a wire wheel, but a lot of the times it just melts it and smears it. But I got a trick for you. If you take your wire wheel and you mount it backwards onto your grinders, so that, because the wires will push one way when you use it lots, right? So you turn it the other way, and then it's more aggressive, and it really chews that stuff off. But when you're doing it, make sure that you wear eye protection, because once you flip these around, it's go time. There's wires peeling off all the time. So just make sure you protect your eyes when you're doing this stuff. But yeah, this is going along great. I think what I'm gonna do is gonna work out awesome. So you can see better now. We got this seam here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure, we're gonna figure out exactly how much we gotta take out of this, and we're going to measure over along this seam as our guide. So that'll be our guide for the whole thing, and then we'll cut it. We'll cut the inside, and then when we cut this lip off of this one, it's a full inner tub that we're putting in, but it'll weld on to whatever seam we put in here, and it'll make up that difference. So that'll give us our 2 inches or 1 3/4, whatever we need. So that's how I'm doing it. Is it the right way? Probably not. I know there is kits you can buy for these, but again, I got, with all the sheet metal I bought for this car so far, like the patch panels, I bought inner fenders for the front, the inner and outer wheel tubs. I'm about $1,100 into materials, and a wheel tub kit alone is about $1,100 US. So if I make this work, I'm saving money, and that's the whole point of this. We're trying to do everything ourselves and save some money, so we'll see if it pays off. All right, we have our line marked. So what we're doing, we're cutting it 2 inches here from the seam. So when I take out the inside wheelhouse and I put the new one on, it'll overlap on this about 1/4 inch. And that way I can weld it inside, outside, and it's not just, I don't have to rely on a perfect butt weld. So we're gonna start cutting into this thing. I'm pretty nervous about cutting into this thing because this is like the frame. Not to say I only have one shot, because I can go buy more inner wheelhouses, but I only want to do this one time, so hopefully we do it right the first time. And like I said, this might not be the right way to do it, but it's how I'm doing it. So I'm going to, yeah, I'm gonna start cutting on this and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we got this all cut, and what we're gonna do now, you can see the cut. I'm gonna put a brace that goes, focus, from here down to the floor, just to hold all this up when I cut that out, because the only thing holding this part up is right there. So we gotta brace that. I should have done it before, but kind of slipped my mind. Like I said, never done this before, so we're learning. Okay, so we got her cut, we got it put up in there. It's not fitting where it needs to be, but we can now see where we got to cut out in the floor exactly, and we'll really be able to tighten everything up. Like this is gonna have to come out more, and like basically almost straight down from there and curved. And same up here, we gotta trim this up a little bit more. But yeah, it's actually working what I wanted to do. Okay, so here we are. We got a whole pile of parts that we've cut apart. We got our wheel tub cut out, and we got everything almost ground up to where it needs to be. We got a whole bunch of cleanup in here to do, and then we gotta do some weld through primer on it, and yeah, and there's the new tub. It fits pretty good right now. I got a little bit of work back here to do to get it to tighten up and get pushed into where it needs to be. But so I measured it, and we're making up about 1 3/4 in there. I know it doesn't seem like much, but that 1 3/4 is gonna line up exactly with the frame. So we'll be able to stuff these tires right up in there. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna keep going on it and try and get one done today. So this might not be how you would do it, but I mean, that's pretty good. We got a bit of a gap down here. That's okay. We'll get that hammered in there. Like I said, you aren't gonna see any of this stuff. And it's not a show car, but that is perfect. Like everything's lining up great. So we're gonna get all this cleaned up and spray on some weld through primer, and then this whole seam is gonna get welded and then we'll on the inside of the tub here, and then on the back side we're gonna probably just stitch it, just because we did cut out a bit of structure here, so we gotta add structure by adding a little bit more weld than what was there. It was just spot welded in before. Yeah, so we're gonna get after it. I did have to hammer this. You can see it's pretty rough, but we'll get that hammered smoother, and get this gap filled in here too. Yeah, we're coming. It's coming, guys. So this is one of those things that I searched YouTube on how I wanted to do it, and I couldn't find anything. So this is how I'm doing it. You don't have to do it this way. This is just how I figured that I wanted to do it. And maybe someone that's working on a car of their own sees this and it works for them too. So I got to get some more clamps on it, but we're pretty much ready to start tacking this in. And one thing I've learned in this build is to measure and fit like 4 or 5 times before starting to weld, and hopefully save future Sean some problems. So yeah. Okay, so we got the first one in there. I got a little bit of work left to do over here, but it turned out really not bad. Obviously I took a little bit more steel out than I put into it, but with the cage mounted to the frame, the body shouldn't ever twist. So I don't think I'm gonna have any problems. In here, we got this. I know it don't look great, but we just stitched it here because it's fully welded on the other side. It's welded all here. And we're stitched up there, and I still got to fill in right here, but we're stitched along the back as well. So it's that took me about a day into that. So
another day for the other side, and then I got to work on the outside stuff. I don't know. I'm finding more and more rust in this thing that I want to find, and I don't know how far I want to dig into it. It's like I was laying in the trunk welding stuff, and then I looked over and oh, there's a big rust spot there. And when I had the thing twisted up, and I could see all the rust in the quarters and stuff. But I did go look at my parts cart, and it does have some good sheet metal on it. So we're gonna get it up here to the shop, and we're gonna hack out everything that I think I can use, and we'll go from there. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it's the next winter that we cut into the outside and fix all the rust in it. Maybe this year we just get it back on the road and driving and breaking hearts, and then no. I don't know. I'm talking to myself now and trying to convince myself out of doing all this work. So I'm gonna get this side buttoned up, and we're gonna start the other side. So you've seen the process, so I'm just gonna get going on it. Oh, there's so much to do. All right, so we're gonna start on this side now. So basically what I'm doing, same as the other side, take this seam seal out around here, and then we're gonna measure over 2 inches, mark a line and cut it. And then yeah, we'll just cut the whole thing out so that we can get that out, and then we'll trace the back and get that cut. But right there, we got some rust issues there happening, so we're gonna have to fix that. Yeah, there's a bit of rust on this side, like a little bit more than the other side in different spots. I'm not a body guy, so I've never had to deal with this stuff before, so we're dealing with it as we go and hoping for the best. Okay, so we got this side cut out, and this one's a GM restoration part, and it fits way better than the other one did. I don't know, maybe I cut it better, but I took my lessons from that side for this side, and it fits a lot better. We gotta fix that. But so on the other side, I hammered all this in before I put it in here. So I think what I'm gonna do is get it all tacked, and then I'll hammer it out, just for the wheel clearance. It could probably stay like that, but I took measurements from side to side, and it looks like everything's good. So we have a little bit of trimming up in here to do to close this gap up. But yeah, like I said, everything that we did on that side, we learned from and put it towards this side. So the gap down here that we don't have that here. And yeah, everything fits really good. So I'm really happy with how this side's turning out. And it was much like the frame when I did it. The first one took a lot longer than the second one did, just because it was the first one I did. So now that I got this one in here, we're gonna pull it back out, do a little bit of trimming, bunch of cleanup, make sure we got all the undercoat out of there, and we'll start welding it in. So yeah, it's exciting. This side has taken me a quarter of the time that the other side did, so we're making progress. Okay, so here's a little update. We got this part filled in. Come over here. It's hard to see, but we got that one filled in too. So where that light's coming through, that's what we're working on now. Made this piece here. and we'll get that fixed up. And actually I had this piece show up here, so here it is, so we can figure out what we're cutting out. I don't want to cut out any more than I have to, so we'll be cutting up probably like that up to here and get all this fixed. And then same at the back there, there's some Bondo in there and it's rusting, so we'll get that fixed. I don't know quite what we're doing with this yet, but it's coming along. So I completely forgot to record a bunch of stuff that I've been doing, but I'm just sheeting this in, like if you see over there that hole. So we got the same on both sides. So I'm working on getting this sheeted in, and that's where the bars on the frame, they'll fit underneath that. So we're just tacking it all together, and then I'll either cut it out again and weld it on the bench, or we'll just weld it there. We did get some more parts, some more sheet metal for this thing, so yeah, our big push right now is to get the sheet metal done so that we can set this thing back onto the frame. Okay, so we got this side done, we got that side over there done, and don't mind the welds. It's hard welding to this old rusty metal that's paper thin, but now, so my frame bars go through there, that's all done. Can I just say that these rotisseries really are worth their weight? Like, that is going to be so handy to work on. So I'll give you a little idea of what exactly we got to do under here. As you can see, this is where our bars go. So we're going to clean up all this that we did our welding and all that. But this bar, like this cross brace, it was all rotted out, is all rotted out. So my plan is to cut it right here where it's not rotted. And we're going to, well, like we're gonna weld this down, and we'll probably weld some here just to give this a little bit extra support, because this is where our seat belts go to. And same up here, we're gonna cut all that out. And there is a little bit of rust underneath here, you can see in there, but we can deal with that. And then we're gonna be cutting this brace back a bit, like we're gonna cut it a little bit more, and we're probably gonna just cap it. But with how rusted out this piece is, we're taking it all out. It's just a spot to catch moisture and all that crap. So we might do that here too. We could cut that here and pull this all out and then cut this one back. Because really everything that, like this piece that I just put in is really bracing up the floor quite good, I think. All right, so we have most of what we want done underneath here. I gotta rotate this the other way now, just so I can finish with this piece, and then the floor this way is almost done. We still got this to do, but I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to do with that. Plus these braces here, I'm gonna snip it here and then push this into the floor where it should be and give it some welds, and then we'll weld this back up. So we're gonna try to flip this and not drop it. Okay, so that was successful. We didn't break anything. Inspect our bolts, everything looks good still. Nothing is slipping. So yeah, you can really see. So under here we got all this and this poking through. So this is the bad side and all that. So we got a bit of work to do on this side, but
can see now I just have this outer piece to get off of here, and then we can clean it all up and go from there. So it's not terrible. It's not gonna look the prettiest, but we're not trying to win any shows here. All right, so figure this out. This car's been sitting in the dirt, and like really in the dirt for years and years and years. It wasn't ever set up or nothing, but we do have some decent panel in here that I can use in the back as well. But check this floor out. This floor is like perfect. Like, this is Texas rust, where it's just paint gone and it's just like, it's nowhere is through. I wish my floor looked like this.